Yo, yo, yo. What's good? What's good? It's Stormy B Man, and I am back. Welcoming you to Kung Fu Film Focus for this Thursday, October 9th, 2025. Tonight's review is a film from 1979 from Taiwan. A little ensemble piece called Incredible Kung Fu Mission. Now, this film stars a lot of familiar, I was looking for the right word, familiar characters from the Kung Fu film industry, and it was headed up by none other than John Liu. Some of you may, if you've followed the Kung Fu film, you may have found John Liu to be a guy that is famous for appearing in martial art films in the mid 70s on through to the early 80s. He's a gentleman that specialized in the kicking style of martial arts. Korean art of Taekwondo, but he was famous because John Liu had the most flexible kicking legs that the industry had ever seen. He could do splits, he could hold his right leg up with his right hand and point it in whatever direction over his head or whatever. Extreme acute flexibility. And in films like this, his skills were on display. He was very much in demand in the early 70s because of his kicking styles, often paired up against other martial artists who were based in Taekwondo martial arts, especially in the Taiwan film circuit, because there were a lot of independent films that came out of Taiwan. Starting in 1970, I want to say 1974, where he, Wang Qingli, and Dan Wang Tao played in The Secret Rivals, a film that spawned 2 sequels and was very noteworthy because of the 3 main actors in there and martial artists. An extreme classic. If you've never had a chance to see The Secret Rivals, you should check it out. I did do a Kung Fu film focus on it a few years ago. I might do an updated review on it, but We're here tonight to talk about Incredible Kung Fu Mission. This is a film that I recently watched after not having seen it in a few years. Here's the image of John Liu. Some of you may remember this gentleman. He's been around through the Kung Fu films. And like I said, he is known for his kicking styles, you know, very much flexible. He's joined in this film with the likes of, I'm trying to get their names right, because sometimes when you speak these gentlemen names, if you don't say them with the correct accent and everything, it's kind of disrespectful. But Robert Tai Chin is a guy who joins him in this film. Robert Tai was also a noted film choreographer and action director during the mid 70s through the early 80s. And in this film, he's playing like a white-haired albino priest or supreme fighter. In the Chinese film lore, when you would see the guys with the white hair, the white eyebrows, the white beards, typically they were either eunuchs or they were men of chastity that didn't participate in man-woman relationships. They saved all of their energies to focus into their martial arts, and that's supposed to be one of the things that turned their hair white. It's not a truism, but it was something that was noted throughout the industry, you know, when they would want to portray men of chastity like that. And it was supposed to also lead into them having special skill sets, special strengths, and so forth. And Robert Tai is playing a villain in this film in which he is a white-haired practitioner of extreme skill and invincibility. The two gentlemen are also joined by another famous Hong Kong actor who had appeared in a number of films during the 70s. This is Alan Chen. Alan Chen is a guy who Alan Chu, excuse me, I said Alan Chen. Alan Chu, he's a guy who also was a stunt man coming out of Taiwan. He was also a fight choreographer and usually played various roles, whether he was a sidekick to a hero, a villain. Sometimes he was on the side of the hero, but he made his way through the industry playing various roles, sometimes even playing old monks or generals and the such. But he was a skilled martial artist. All of these men that I am sharing the images of for this particular film were very skilled people. Now, there was one in particular who came along as the films moved toward the 80s, and that was Alexander Lorey. Now, this gentleman here was very adept at martial arts skills and fighting prowess, and had joined the ranks of those like Billy Chong during the late 70, early 80 period. And he was more of a guy who you can consider along the lines of Jackie Chan. He could do acrobatics, but he was a strong fighter, heavily muscled, and he was kind of big for his size. He was not a small 5'6", 5'7" guy. He was along the lines of like closer to 5'10", 5'11", something like that. So a taller man, but a strongly built man, and had played in a number of films. Shaolin versus Ninja, Shaolin challenges Ninja. There were a number of Ninja Hunter, He played in a lot of the early independent kung fu films that had to do with ninjas and Shaolin. For some reason, he fell into that genre and became very popular as a result of, that era that he came along in. So these guys were definitely people that you would see in these films. And like I said, the choreography was spot on. You saw a lot of acrobatics here because Jackie Chan with Snake and the Eagle Shadow, and then his follow-up hit Drunken Master in 1978, acrobatics became the thing with training sequences. And Jackie made that famous because in his two films, Snake and Drunken Master, excuse me, he had these extended training scenes where you could see him working on his craft, usually the old teacher overseeing his skill set as he went about, learning whatever style that the teacher was sharing with him. Now, these guys in Incredible Kung Fu Mission, they had training sequences in here too, but the film is a little bit more lighthearted. It's basically about, to get the synopsis correct, it's a kung fu master who assembles and trains a group of mercenaries to rescue a captured agent from the powerful warlord played by Robert Tai. Now, these guys individually are kind of goofies. So John Liu is the one who gathers them together. And he's training them. He's trying to get them focused up for this mission. It's basically a film that's kind of based on The Dirty Dozen, but it was with Kung Fu. And these guys stumbling over themselves and everything. And as he's trying to train them, he puts them in scenarios where they have to fight and show their prowess of getting better before they head out to the mission that he has set up for them to accompany him. And in some instances, they meet up with rivals who are basically trying to take them out and stop them. And then others where he has set it up for them to try to show their skill set to see, so he could gauge where they are as far as their training. The film has a familiar soundtrack where it's playing one of the Western themes. I forget which Western film it's from, but it's funny that in the early 70s, the Hong Kong industry used to lift tracks from spaghetti westerns and regular American films all the time. Like I remember when I did my review of Queen Boxer, that film was noted for playing tracks off of Isaac Hayes' Shaft, and it was like they made no bones about it. They just played the music on their films, and they never thought the film would end up getting released internationally anyway, which is one of the reasons why they would do that. But then shortly, after the Hong Kong film wave kind of gained momentum and those films would get released in the US, they had to go back and redub the music sometimes because, copyright, like YouTube, huh? We know all about that over here. That's why you only see still photographs from Stormy B, man. You got Kung Fu pose. Yeah, but you ain't gonna see me playing no clips because they gonna come for me, huh? I'll be sitting over there on the outside but looking through some bars at y'all. You know what I'm saying? So I ain't going for that. No means no. Yeah. Let me take a quick moment and see who we got in the chat. I don't want to ignore anybody this evening. This is a live broadcast. I've been uploading some of my past Kung Fu film focuses to my new Kung Fu channel, and just thought that I would share, something live for a change instead of uploading just simply the uploading the what do you call it, the replay of past show. See who we got out there. We got Jimmy Bernard out there saying, "What's good, Sensei?" Salute to the chat. Smash the like button. We got Convos with Cam out there saying, "Salute, Stormy in chat. What's good with you?" Drew Titan LLC in the building saying, "Yes, sir." Shogun 76, the real Shogun of Harlem, is in the building. Good to see you out there, brother. Will Sinclair is out there as well saying, "Salute, Sensei. What's happening?" Convos with Cam says, "Makes sense, Stormy. In the book that I am reading, some of them are even described as being immortal. Makes more sense now. Laugh out loud. Thank you for explaining." You're welcome, Convos with Cam. You see, one of the things that I might do a special Kung Fu film focus on that, like they call them the Silver Hermit or the White Eyebrows Priest or Priest White Brows and different Pai Mei, all of those characters that were depicted in films. They had the white hair and they were astonishingly proficient in their martial abilities. Some of them had even had like what they called iron skin, where they practice qigong, which is the ability to take direct hits and sometimes certain types of weapons to the flesh, and they don't show wear, tear, or injury. Now that is a real skill, but movies made it out to be heightened, where it's like, oh wow, that's amazing. But it was just basically there are certain chemicals and herbs that the men would use to make their flesh stronger, so it didn't scratch as easily or cut. And again, the eunuchs were usually castrated as little boys, because that's before you began to, develop the testosterone in your body, right? So it's like small boys. And then when they did start studying the arts, they became like some type of, there was an endowment that they gained from not having all of their equipment to say things in a lighter fashion. So, and Robert Ty, who you can see here right beneath me, is one of those just in this film. Yeah. Drew Titan says, "Men of charity, similar to the men of the cloth. It displays discipline." Yes, sir. Like priests, strong priests. Derek Gaines, the legend, is out there. What's going on with you? He says, "Stormy B-Man, salute, brother. Salute to you." And Gabriella's out there, says 7 Grandmasters is the best. Yeah. And for many who, and I did a review on that, Gabriella, is 7 Grandmasters is one of the classics of all time, with John Long playing a young priest Pai Mei, and the Wu-Tang style that he developed and was noted for. That film is special because it showed him traveling the provinces with a couple of his students, challenging other fighters from the regions of China, and he's going through defeating everyone. And thus the title of the film, The 7 Grandmasters. But a lot of people didn't know that John Long was playing a version of Pai Mei in that film. And that was supposed to be before Pai Mei had joined up with the Qing dynasty and the emperor to help wipe out the Shaolin Temple and everything. So he became that guy as he got older in life. But in the 7 Grandmasters, he's not depicted at that stage yet. It's like a different point in time in his life. This is one of the reasons why it's pretty cool when you learn that some of these characters that are portrayed in the film are real life people, but cinematically there have been some, embellishing of their stories and their skill sets, those who were fighters. And some of them became heroes as well as played heartily as villains. So it was something very consistent in the industry. Convos with Cam says, I use some of that in my meditation groups at work. Okay. I'm talking about Qigong specifically. Yeah. You see, that's the thing. And I'm talking about these films because I know a lot about that part of, what they do with these films and what they want to portray and project. But I don't want to speak a lot on certain things because some people they just like the movies, and they just want to talk about that or whatever, or know more about a movie to go be recommended and stuff like that. So, but yeah, in martial arts, being able to channel your chi and reflect inward so that you can have something projected outward, it's essential. Now, there are fighters out here today in the sport of boxing. Old fighters used to understand those merits. These young guys, they don't adopt that. I don't believe that. I don't believe that. Yeah, well, doubting Thomases. You don't have to believe it, but that's also one of the reasons why you won't be as successful as you could possibly be. Because sometimes it requires the disciplines of abstinence and denial to be able to get you to be able to focus up and achieve. It's like you sacrifice something here so that you can get there. Once you get there, you want to get to another place. So you learn the reciprocated process of giving, receiving. Yeah. See, it's good that Convos with Cam is out there because I'm certain she understands what I'm talking about when you putting that together like that. But some of you dudes, man, y'all are like, pass the popcorn, Stormy. Tay, the real queen of MMA and combat talk in the building. What's going on with you, sis? How you doing? Yeah. So we got my man Shogun out there. Shogun 76. Hey, have you seen this one, Shogun? The Incredible Kung Fu Mission, also known as Kung Fu Commandos and the Deadly Mission. The film was made in 1979, released in 1980. It's a Mandarin film, and it stars a lot of guys, like I said, that you have seen before. What I liked about the Incredible Kung Fu Mission is how the guys, when they started out, they were fighting each other. John Liu was their general, but he was trying to keep them together. And like I said, it's reminiscent of the Dirty Dozen, but it was only like 6 of them. And they were fighting amongst each other. They couldn't get along and everything. But as the film goes on, you can see they're starting to gel and come together as a team. And that's what he needed them to be in order for them to get through the trial that he was taking them on. And you see the growth with how they get along, don't get along at first, but then began to get along and began to believe in one another. The whole thing that a coach and trainer in the sport of boxing or in some of our other team sports try to convey to his subjects. And it's like you have to be able to buy into what the coach, the trainer, the mentor is providing you. And if you don't do that, you're not going to be successful. You're trying to be independent of mind and thought. So uh, the movie basically blends a lot of action and comedy and a serious tone with the emphasis of the training with the reluctant mercenaries. It's a part of the film that is major. John Liu's character is pretty darn good. Of course, he's good enough to beat up on all of those guys. But when they go in for their mission to face Robert Ty's character, and I'm trying to remember what his name was, Lu Ping. He was like overseeing this retreat, similar to like the film that I reviewed last time, Blooded Treasury Fight. There was like a little village where Lu Ping presides over. Robert Tai, he's got soldiers around his base and everything, and John Liu has to get his team of mercenaries to go in there, infiltrate, take down that bad guy, and take over things. But I'll tell you something, some of the action scenes are pretty darn good, man. And there are acrobatics and gymnastics that are performed in some of the fight scenes that are pretty cool. So yeah, let me see here, who else we got here. I saw some more comments. Shogun says, I haven't seen any copies of this when I was collecting real heavy. Really? Well, you could go online now and, you could Google the title and it'll pop up whomever is, selling it. There's a few websites that sells Kung Fu movies out there. I could let you guys know, where to buy them, but it's like a lot of people are not buying movies today, but, me being a collector, I have to have my physical copies. So that's how I do that. We got Julie Basultan in there. Am I saying that right? She's waving. What's going on with you, Julie? How you doing? It's the first time here. She says, hello, everyone. Hey, welcome to Kung Fu Film Focus with Stormy B, man. And, we're talking Kung Fu movies this evening. And the title of this one is The Incredible Kung Fu Mission. I gotta put this other image up here because I just want to show something a little bit different. Let's see here. Yeah. Put this here and do away with this one there like that. Yeah! This is one of the original theatrical posters for the guys here starring in this film. Very popular. John Liu, man, kicking style like nobody else, man. And a lot of people don't know this little tidbit about John Liu. John Liu was a practitioner of martial arts, and his sifu was Tam Tao Lang, who was in the Blooded Treasury fight that I told you guys about. He trained under Tam Tao Lang, who taught him those tremendous kicking arts. And the other aspect of those kicking arts is this: Taekwondo kicks. Tam Tao Lang was a real master of that kicking style. He's noted in the Kung Fu film industry for his kicks as well. But the flexibility of John Liu, because he was a lean and wiry type guy, it became his trademark. And there's a story that John Liu trained under Tam Tao Lang, and for 3 years he was in constant pain from the stretching of his legs to get the optimum flexibility that he got out of that. And can you imagine, for 3 years straight being in constant chronic pain, only to be able to come out being able to kick like he was able to kick? That's an amazing thing to go through right there. 3 years, you guys. 3 years. Some of y'all can't sit down in here and hold attention for 3 minutes, huh? And that's something to talk about. I'm telling you, because that's tremendous, big time. Yeah. Anybody got any questions about this film? This the film is a lot of fun. Shogun, I would recommend that you go out there and try to find it, brother. You know, I'm sure it's on Amazon Prime Video. It's on Tubi. Uh, I think you can even find it on YouTube. But it's a film that you know, that you can find, entertaining. Yeah. Yeah, but once again, like talking about the plot of the film, John Liu assembles and trains a team of 5 unskilled mercenaries for a dangerous rescue mission, and they are hired to infiltrate the fortress of an evil warlord and rescue a captured revolutionary agent. They are disguised as a traveling acrobatic troupe, and the team must battle the warlord's soldiers and finally take down the warlord himself. You know, John Liu is known for his kicking style, and he gets plenty of opportunities to put that on display in this film. The choreography for the movie, once again, was, choreographed and directed by Robert Tai, who plays the warlord in the film. The movie is fun. It's a nice, what do you want to call it, like 80 to 90-minute film. Yeah. You know. As I pull up old reviews on it, Rotten Tomatoes, they give it like what did Rotten Tomatoes give it? Most people give it like 4 stars on Rotten Tomatoes. And hey, Shogun, he says when I was looking, he couldn't find it when you was collecting heavy. You mean you're not collecting heavy no more, man? This is the time to collect now, because a lot of these joints are coming back on Blu-ray, man, remastered and everything. So you gotta be able to keep up, bro. Don't have Stormy out here by himself with these good kung fu flicks. Join me. One of the reviews on this film says, and this review is from like 2002. It says, a caper in the making. John Liu plays a tough, skinny hero that he always plays. But this is a very memorable masterpiece that played all over the world. Cool soundtrack. I mentioned that being taken from a spaghetti western. I just don't remember which one it was taken from. And hilarious training scenes with a good cast of good guys and bad guys, especially the blonde guy. See, he's talking about Robert Ty playing the white-haired priest. He wasn't blonde. His hair was really like white, you know. Also, a strange plot in the end, which will be overlooked from all the action. A movie that I never really enjoyed much before because it was played on television too much, but is greatly appreciated today. And that's a review by a gentleman by the name of Master Arts from 2002. There's another review that I have. It says, I remember this flick coming on TV many times. This flick is about a high-kicking fighter named Xiao Kang John Lu, who is hired by some rich guy named Lo Tung Alan Siu to rescue a revolutionist from the seal-type forest of a blonde warlord named Lu Ping. Ting Kang can't rescue the revolutionary alone, so he's given 5 screwballs who he must turn into kung fu freaks to assist him on his kung fu mission. After a bunch of training in which the gang finally proves their kung fu is worth, they pose as a troupe of acrobatic performers to infiltrate Lu Ping's impregnable fortress. Once inside, they fight, kill, and eventually everybody is dead and the revolutionary is rescued. This review is funny to me. It says, mission accomplished. You'd say, not yet. The plot takes off in another direction as the man who hired Tin Kang to rescue the revolutionary decides to reveal his true colors. Highly enjoyable and recommended. But for those of you who have seen my past shows of Kung Fu Film Focus, let me say this about Kung Fu Film. And that person that wrote that review alluded to it. They're in Kung Fu movies, they the most double-crossing backstabbers you will ever meet in your life. Just when you think that all was okay and right here in this one space, nope.
Ha ha ha. You thought I was with you. No. Now you're gonna die.
This is what they do, man. Nobody can backstab and double cross like a kung fu villain, man. I'm telling you. That's what they do. They live for that mess, man. They live for it. It is hilarious to me too, because some of the best films, it's like you can't help it, man. Yeah. It's like Shogun says, I just looked this up on Tubi. Yeah, man. T Berry, what's good with you? Peace to you as well. But yeah, John Liu has been in some great films. You know, some have been better than others, but his filmography has him playing some really interesting people. Yeah. And he was around for a while. You know, he didn't. He didn't make but 20 kung fu films though. His first film was called The Great Boxer. I think that was with Jimmy Wang Yu, The Great Boxer from 1972. No, that's a different film where he was in Taiwan playing in a film called The Great Boxer. Interesting. I haven't seen that one. I have a film called The Great Boxer with Jimmy Wang Yu. I'm gonna have to look into that. Yeah. Some of John Liu's more famous films were The Secret Rivals 1 and 2, um, The Invincible Armor, which I did do a Kung Fu film focus on, uh, The Snuff Bottle Connection, The Invincible Kung Fu Trio, The Mars Villa, Two Great Cavaliers, The Notorious Ex-Monk, Instant Kung Fu Man, The Dragon the Hero, Death Duel of Kung Fu. Most of his films are prominent Taiwan releases. Yeah. He just wasn't in as many as some of the other stars from the era, but John Liu, he did his thing, man. And he is definitely an icon from that era. Definitely an icon from that era. So, gotta give these guys credit for what they do. Some of them, when the industry kind of went bad, they were just, left to become regular blue collar workers or whatever, or teaching in schools. That's the direction that they headed in. So yeah. But as I posed earlier, any of you guys got some questions about this one, or anything to add or contribute if you happen to have seen the film yourself? Let Stormy B Man know what you thought about it. You know what I mean? So yeah. Yep. So yeah. Yeah, Gang says I will find this one and watch it. Yeah. There is some comedy in this one. So there's some fun moments, especially during the training sequences. And there's a point like where they go against a gang of guys that when they first face them, they get their butts handed to them. And then later, after they've learned how to fight a little bit, they run across these guys again and they teach those dudes a lesson, which is pretty cool to see them progress. That's the whole point. And I always like the films that show the guys training, training sequences and everything. That's pretty much, it's pretty much entertaining. And they get very creative with the training rituals. That's kind of what's cool about movies like this as well. You know, Jackie Chan's films were famous for his training sequences. Shogun says, so far it's good. Are you watching it right now, Shogun? Yeah. Shogun be on it, man. He wait for me to do these. I know I haven't done one in a while. I did one last week, Shogun, but I'm gonna try to get more of them into the mix. It's just that there's been so much boxing, you know, and I have a lot to cover with boxing. But you know, the kung fu film, that's my first love. First love there, as far as, you know, my hobbies and interests, you know. Yeah. Shogun says, I love a great training sequence. Yeah, man. That's when those choreographers get really creative, you know. Mm. He says, if the sensei recommends a movie, listen to him because he won't steer you wrong. Yeah, man, I won't waste your time, you know. I won't waste your time. You remember that recommendation that I had, Shogun, for Iron Dragon Strikes Back with Ho Chung Tao, the guy that they call Bruce Lee? I don't like to refer to him as that name, Bruce Lee, and he doesn't like to be called that either. But Ho Chung Tao, his film, The Iron Dragon Strikes Back, also known as the Gold Connection. Didn't I tell you guys about that movie, man? Boy, I had some people come back to the chat after I had recommended that film. It was like, man, Sifu. It was like, I never saw that ending coming, right? I was like, man, I told you that movie was a trip, bro. That's one of my favorite reviews too, because I was able to tell you guys about the movie without spoiling the ending for you if you've never seen it. Look at Shogun says, man, I'm still mad about that. Hey, Shogun, you didn't see that ending coming, did you, bro? And the way it ended and the credits started rolling, I was like, dang, that's it? Oh, my goodness. That was awesome stuff. That's how you know a movie is good, when it leave you like that and you just be like, your jaw be open and you be like, wait a minute. That's like y'all remember seeing Avengers Infinity War when the movie ended. It didn't have no music or nothing. They just started rolling the credits. Everybody was like, wait, that's it? The Avengers lost? Yeah. Sorry if that's a spoiler for anybody, because the movie is so damn old now. If you ain't seen it by now, you need to have it spoiled. Man, Shogun said, man, I'm still mad about that. Yes, sir. That's one of Ho Chung Tao's best movies, man. I was like, look at this. I'm going to do a review on another one of his movies called The Chinese Stuntman. That's pretty good, too. The Chinese Stuntman with Ho Chung Tao. and he's got Dan Inosanto in there with him, Bruce Lee's former friend, and the man who taught Lee how to use the nunchucks. Yeah, great stuff there, man. Great stuff. The nunchucks. But hey, Shogun, I am glad that you saw it, man. It's like, see, I love that. You know, when I put a recommendation out there, and you guys come back and you tell me you have your own feeling and emotion about it, then I've done my job very well. I've done my job very well. Salute to Joseph Townsend out there. I see you out there, Joseph Townsend. He says, salute OG, aka Side Sweep Stormy. Sweep the leg. Yeah, man. Yeah. Talking about these kung fu films, man. Joe Townsend, you ever seen this one? Incredible Kung Fu Mission, also known as Kung Fu Commandos. It used to play on the Super Samurai Sunday, Super Saturday, whatever, you know, on a regular basis. This film played a lot. Even the reviewers talked about how it played a lot. Yeah. Let me see. I'm checking one of my sources. To see if they got a review of this film up. I should have did this before I came to the Man, I haven't been on this site a long time. I'm seeing some stuff that I should have seen a while back. Oh, I could still get this? I just found an old kung fu film from the early 70s, guys, that I want in my collection, and it's on Blu-ray. I tell you, Shogun, yeah. Joe says, I haven't seen that one, OG. I wasn't big into kung fu, but I'm a huge Mortal Kombat fan. Oh man, come on, man. Mortal Kombat, bro. Is that because you like the video games? You have to hook up with Drew Titan then, because you know you're not ready for my class. Shogun says they are going to show that Last Dragon back in the movie. Oh, really? They're bringing it back to the theaters? Man, do you know most of the cast of that film died, bro? Only Timac is still really around. Vanity is gone. The young man that played his brother is gone. Man. That movie was so much fun, man. For those of you that never saw my review of The Last Dragon, you got to check that out too. I'll probably re-upload that one so people can see it, you know, that never seen it. Matter of fact, maybe I'll upload that for next week so people that didn't catch it, they'll get a chance to see it, you know. But thank you for putting that in there, Shogun. Nice to know that they're going to be bringing that back to the theaters. I don't think I mind to go see it myself in the theaters one more time. Joe Townsend says, I've seen On Bak, Crouching Tiger, Hidden Dragon, some Jet Li and Bruce Lee movies, and of course, The Last Dragon. Look at Joe. Joe trying to make up for it now, huh? No extra credit, Joe Townsend. No extra credit, huh? You got a D on this one because, you know, that means, duh, I ain't seen them, Stormy. Derek Gaines says, I hated that movie. Which movie, Derek Gaines? The Last Dragon? Really? You hated that? Come on, man. Shogun says, every time I see that brother on Instagram, I always say, Leroy. Man, how can somebody hate The Last Dragon, man? Bruce Leroy is sitting there watching Into the Dragon, eating popcorn with his chopsticks. Man, listen, Derek Gaines, you a true hater, man. Can y'all believe Derek Gaines coming out here saying he hated The Last Dragon? Really? You're a true hater, man. You the biggest hater of all times. How dare you? How dare you? Joe Townsend says, Leroy little brother was a stone cold hater. I don't like to see her. I would like to see her. Remember he said that? Man, let me tell y'all. Hey, when Derek Gaines coming into the chat now, y'all, everybody greet him like this. I'm gonna show you something. Let me write it here. Only for the Kung Fu films, y'all. when Derek Games come into the Kung Fu Film Focus chat, this is what I want y'all to write. This is what y'all write when Derek Gaines come in here. Watch this. This is what I want to see. This is what y'all write when Derek Gaines come into the chat talking about Kung Fu. How you gonna hate The Last Dragon, man? If you don't sit down somewhere, that's the worst thing you could have said, man. You're like, I never kissed a woman before. Shut up, fool. Don't nobody want to hear that. You're trying to get your romance on. What you doing? This dude gonna come in here. I ain't gonna forget that. All the movies I done talked about. I done talked about Chuck Norris movies and everything. You ain't come in here and say, I hated that Chuck Norris flick. You come in here and said, you hated The Last Dragon. That is crazy, bro. You ain't right, man. Somebody check his pimp card at the door the next time he come in. Oh, this is fake. Get out. Yeah, but I'm one of you. I'm one of you. No, you ain't. No, you ain't. Man, you could have came in and said Shogun was the baddest dude in the world or whatever, but no, you said you hated The Last Dragon? Oh my God. Oh, now he gonna say he loved Chuck Norris movies. Time him out. Give him 30 seconds or something. Cause he talking too much. I'm getting into my Muhammad Ali now. He talked too much. Quiet him up. How dare you? I ain't never seen somebody that I want to put some kung fu moves on so bad. Where's Michael Jai White when you need him? How dare you? Chuck Norris. If you don't get all the way the hell up out of here. Yeah. You see? This is what happened when they get too familiar and let their hair down. They're like, no, man, you wasn't supposed to say that, bro. You wasn't supposed to say that. Huh? Hey, man. I love you. What? You better get off me, nigga. Fat. What? You know that that meme that Drew got? What? And he said, what? Man, that's right, Mr. Shelton. I ain't never heard nobody say they don't like The Last Dragon. We would have let you slide by saying, hey, man, I didn't wash my ass today. Well, maybe I wouldn't have let you slide on that, but this is even worse. Yeah, Joe Townsend, take his black card and give him a blonde card, huh? Because he liked Chuck Norris movies, huh? What's really going on, man? What's really going on? He done started some mess now. Man. That's like, oh my goodness. Boy, you know how to cap a show off. I tell you that though, Derek Gaines coming out there. I might forgive you tomorrow, but not tonight. He said, sorry, brother, but it's true. I thought it was corny. And I don't be a menace while drinking your juice in the hood. Well, see, Stormy B Man ain't talking about that. But we talking about The Last Dragon, bro. It's a classic, man. It's a classic. It's like right up there with Enter the Dragon and everything. It was like, that was our shit. Y'all, I'm gonna have to go now because Derek Gaines done ruined the party for everybody. So I'm getting ready to go home now. It's like, somebody always gotta come and eat all the damn cake and drink all the punch up and everything, you know. Tonight it was Derek. You see, Joe, that's why I'm trying to get ready to sign off before he really say the wrong thing, huh? And then we have to really cut him, huh? We have to, get him in the alley somewhere, huh? Now, we've been wondering where the ops at. He been here the whole time. Blending in. I'm like, wait a minute. I'm black, you black. Why that dude look like he's like, he's like what they call it when you mix the chocolate and the vanilla ice cream. He's a swirl coming up in here. Derek Gaines, I'm gonna give you a chance to go home and sleep that off, brother, huh? And take some no-dos, huh? So you could think about what you was saying. We should make him tape his eyelids open and make him watch The Last Dragon when they come back to the movie theater. Make him watch every damn showing in one day. That'd be about 5 showings in a day, maybe 3. Yeah. And time to the chair, huh? No restroom breaks or nothing. And he's like, oh, I gotta go to the toilet. Uh-huh. Go ahead. Man, that is horrible, man. That is horrible. He hurt my feelings, man. He hurt all my feelings with that one. I don't know, y'all. Stormy might not recover tonight, man. Yeah, that's right, Joe Townsend. You know what I'm saying? Vanity in there and everything. What's wrong with him, man? We should put his head in that tank where dude had that whatever kind of fish that was in that tank there. put Derek Gaines' head in that tank? Huh?
Wow.
Man. That's crazy. Anyway, y'all. On that note, we're going to have to get on up out of here. Can't believe the man said what he said, though. But, maybe he had some drinks or something, Joe Townsend and Shogun. Maybe the brother had too much tequila or something. But it is what it is. But I shall not forget. But listen, I appreciate everybody that tuned in with me this evening, man. It was a great show. Yeah, that's right, Joe. And upside down, too. Upside down. So he can watch the guts run out. What is that? Is that my stomach? No. It's a collection of Chuck Norris videos coming out your ass. Yeah. Anyway, I'm going to get on out of here, you guys. I appreciate everybody. Please smash the like button on the way out. If you didn't, coming in. I want to say shout out to the mighty LDBC. And we'll catch you guys on the next one, man. Peace to everybody. Enjoy the rest of your week. I'm gone.